All right, so for number 10, if we're going to evaluate the factorial expression, remember that 4 factorial means 4 times all those, really it's natural numbers below it. So 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is what, 12 times 2? So we get 24?
Wait, so,
All right, but look at number 11. That looks fun, doesn't it? All right, so I'm going to write a few of it out, and then I'm going to show you something, okay? So 24 factorial, if I started out, would be like 24 times 23 times 22 times 21 times 20 times, it would keep going down until we got to times 1, correct? Over 22 factorial, which would be 22 times 21 times 20 times every number down to 1, correct? Now notice, remember, if anything's the same when you're multiplying and dividing, if anything's the same on top and bottom, it'll cancel, won't it? So look, my 22s are going to cancel, my 21s are going to cancel, my 20s are going to cancel. Everything all the way down to 1 is going to cancel, isn't it? So therefore, my answer is just going to be these two over 1. So what is 24 times 23? 552. Technically, it's over 1, so you just get 552. So a way I could have wrote this without having to write all that extra stuff and the dot, dot, dots and all that was I could rewrite 24 factorial. I could say, well, that is 24 times 23 times 22 factorial, right? Because that includes all the numbers down below it. Over the 22 factorial. And then we would have said, oh, well, those cancel. And that would give us our 552. So you don't have to write it all the way out. So if you have numbers like that on top and bottom, just take whichever one's bigger, work it down to the smaller one, and leave it there, okay? So like the 24 was the bigger one, so I did the 24 times the 23 times the 22 factorial, because that was a smaller one, and that made the bottom one cancel then, instead of writing it all out. All right, so look at 12. Which one has the smaller, well, which one has the bigger factorial? The top or the bottom? The top. So we're going to bring it down to the larger one of the bottom then. So I'm going to rewrite this as 15 times 14 times 13 times 12 factorial over, and because I did that 12 factorial, I want to keep that one as 12 factorial because I want them to cancel. But then I have times 3 factorial, so you need to write that out. So times 3 times 2 times 1. My 12 factorial is a cancel. So 15 times 14 times 13 over 3 times 2 times 1. You could just plug that in your calculator, or you could reduce it if you want to. So, whichever way you want to do it. And what do we end up with? Anybody put it in the calculator? Ma'am? 455? That's what I got. Now, we can check this with our calculators. You have a factorial button. All right, so to get to this to check on your calculator, guys, go to Math. And then go over to Probability, PRB. And you see number 4 has that exclamation point? All right, so you could do that in your calculator to check it. I want to see your work for me, but you definitely a way to check it, ma'am.
Do you just type it in like that?
Yeah, so on this one, you would type in 15, get your factorial, divided by, and now there's more than one thing on bottom, so put it in parentheses, 12 factorial, and then 3 factorial.
I'm sorry, where do you find it again?
It's right there, I wrote it on the board. Math, go over to probability.
Oh.
Number 4 is your exclamation point.
How do you type it?
Type in what? And so when I did that, it gave me the same answer. All right, so 13. We have n plus 3 factorial over n plus 1 factorial. Now, it didn't tell us what to use for n, okay? So we're just going to find like the first 3. So let's find when n equals 1. So when n equals 1, we would have what? 1 plus 3 factorial over 1 plus 1 factorial. Well, remember the factorial means we're multiplying, so PEMDAS tells us parentheses first. So we get 4 factorial over 2 factorial. So 4 times 3 times 2 factorial over the 2 factorial. And so we know it's 12. To find the second term, so n is 2, just plug in 2. Parentheses first. Work it out. And the same thing for the third term. And we could keep going from there. I just said let's find the first 3, but if it had said find the first 5, we could have kept going, right? All right.